Hi, I'm Rebecca Hope from Block News, and we are being joined today with the CEO of Selfie Yo in our episode of Meet the Makers this morning. Coming live from Boston, welcome Jamie Thompson. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. So today we're talking about something very important, which is social media and how we can now be using tokens to run certain campaigns and to get involved in a different kind of community. So tell us a little bit about Selfie Yo and what exactly you do and what problem you're solving.
Sure. So Selfie Yo is a location-based ephemeral social network. It's a new app. It's still sort of in beta mode. We've been working on it for a while. The concept is basically to share what you're up to, share what's going on around you, without necessarily having to make friends or follow people around you. The idea is that people care about what's happening in their neighborhood. People want to show off, where are they eating? What are they doing? Things that so many of us, millions and millions of people already do on Instagram, already do on Snapchat and Facebook. But we believe there's an opportunity to make hyper-local more effective. And we're doing that through Selfie Yo.
I see that local is a big focus for you. So let's put it into context and try explain this from the user perspective. So I download the app, Selfie Yo.
Yep.
And then what? So what can I do?
So there's two sort of major actions. You can take a photo or video and post it public or private. If you post it public, the idea is that we automatically will display what's going on around you. So it's dirt simple to basically, whether you want to take a selfie or a picture with friends or a video, if you're at some restaurant or some bar, post it, and then the content that you see in that local feed is automatically sorted based on who's around you. So taking the concept of location and making it really, really simple. Alternatively, if you want to private message and send people messages privately, you can do that based on your existing social graph and your contacts, or you can discover people around you and then message privately. So it starts with basically the concept of what's happening right now around you.
And that's kind of a little bit different to Instagram, because the moment on Instagram you have to tag a location and then that's the only way that people can find you. Whereas, and especially in a world where people are traveling a lot or moving, it's a great way for people to connect with maybe people they don't know yet, or find things that they're interested in. Was that the concept?
Definitely, yeah, that's a core part of it. So things like, if you're out, say you're traveling, you're in a new city and you want to see who's around, that's cool. That's a basic human kind of desire. Like whether you just want to meet a friend, grab beer, slice pizza, whatever. But maybe you don't want to, well, I would say in the case of Selfie Yo, you don't have to disclose exactly where you are. So one of the kind of creepy factors that we've tried to eliminate is you don't actually, the app doesn't tell exactly where you are. The app never gives any indication of precisely where you are, but it will give a general sense of who's in the area. I think that is something that has been missing from all of the other platforms.
I totally agree, because I've lived in 5 different countries in the past 4 years, and that's a huge problem. It's like when you move to a new place, you want to meet new people, and it seems to be that the only reliable app on the market is Tinder or dating apps, and you don't want that. You want just friendships, and you want to just meet people. Was that the concept?
Yeah, that's a huge part. So that was one of the things that we wanted to address is, I mean, all of those apps clearly are doing many things very well because they've got such massive traction. But to your point, if you just want to say meet new friends or meet new people, it's a little weird going on Tinder or Bumble or a dating app, because that's not really.
And people do use it for that purpose, especially in Europe. What I've seen is a lot of bloggers or people or photographers or whatever, they use it for that purpose and to get content because it's location based. I've actually been saying this for a long time, that we need an app that's location based but not necessarily dating,
Exactly. And I think if you're using Tinder or Bumble just to meet friends, and say you're in a relationship or you simply have no interest in finding a match, then you're going to have problems, because that's not what
social problems, because the other person is
maybe you do, but it's going to create problems. That's
exactly.
For sure.
And Instagram doesn't really offer that at this point. It's one of the biggest apps at the moment. for photo sharing, but it doesn't really solve that problem because you have to. It's also very location specific.
Yep.
I mean, not always. You can select, just a more general location, but a lot of the times, it can be a bit creepy, like you said. Okay, so now I've downloaded the app. I'm now part of the economy. So what happens? Do I buy tokens? Do I get tokens?
Well, so initially, I want to sort of, I guess, set the stage since this is blockchain, block news, and crypto-related stuff here. There's definitely a divide at the moment between Selfie Yo, the app, the social network, and what we're doing on SGT, the crypto side.
Yes.
We're doing SG, and I say this to preface by saying we're doing an STO. So we are outright saying this is a security token. It's not a utility token. So at the moment, and for probably at least the next 12 months, probably more like 18 months, we're not going to actually integrate the utility function because we have to deal with holding periods. So we're running the crypto side of things as a, and I apologize if I'm jumping the gun, as a Reg D 506C. The vision down the road is to allow the greater community. So we intend on using a big portion of the proceeds to grow the user base as much as we possibly can. And then when we've met the requirements of on the regulatory side, we will morph into a utility token. And we will allow users to start doing things in the app like buying extra filters, give developers, something I want to do down the road is give developers access, but they will have to pay with tokens. Give brand advertisers access and the opportunity to do things, but they will have to pay with tokens. So that's how SGT eventually integrates. But at the moment, it's very distinct. It's a security token and quite distinct from Selfie Yo. Although same entity. So it represents equity basically in the company, not a utility yet though.
So I can download the app now. And is it integrated with already social media accounts like Instagram, or do I have to post a photo new on the app and create a new profile?
You post a photo new on the app. We've tried to make it as simple as possible. Like we're constantly working on it. We're constantly trying to make it better. By default, when you open the app, the selfie camera opens. The default filter is what we call like a beauty cam. It just does some basic. In fact, I wish I was using the default camera because I can see that like I'm all greasy looking or something right now. Like
I'm used to using that beauty cam.
Used to using the beauty cam, and I always look my best. And now when I see myself, I'm like, man, I should have. Somebody should have powdered me up or something. But so we've got basic kind of beauty filters, some face filters, some fun stuff in there that users have come to expect. And we've done that for two reasons. We love computer vision, and we're sort of obsessed with technology that's camera related and AI related, and we're experimenting. We're using it as our own experimental vehicle to do camera stuff, which is a lot of fun. But B, nowadays there's par for the course on the consumer side is doing some good stuff with cameras. So open it up, take a selfie. You can click once, you can smile, and it will activate the camera, or hold it down. So very similar to Snapchat. Make a video, post it local. Now, so all that functionality works.
One of the problems is, I know from my experience, I have way too many apps on my phone. I've deleted Snapchat because there's no point. It's basically does the same thing as Instagram, whereas Instagram I can access more people. So
many apps too.
So how is this fitting to the market, and why did you decide not to integrate it with Instagram pics?
Yeah, I think that so my belief on the social side, like I use Instagram, I love it. It's a great app. I use Facebook. I mean, Facebook's not going anywhere. They're a phenomenal company. But I think that the bigger a network gets, the more it changes in terms of how we perceive it. So this concept of like connecting the world, great, awesome, sounds good. But connecting in your community is different from connecting with your family and friends that you've known for a long time. I personally, so I guess to a large extent, like we've been building a product that I've wanted for a long time, or that I don't think Instagram or Facebook do very well anymore. And that's helped me make friends around me right now without necessarily introducing them into my entire family and friend history. With Instagram, there are different personas. Some people have public Instagrams and they want as many followers as they can get. Some people have private Instagrams and they share, like my Instagram is quite private and I don't accept people that I don't know. because I post pictures of where am I having dinner or what am I doing with my family, and I don't really want that out there. So when we designed Selfie Yo, and I think you'll find it's very, very simple and very, very fast, we deliberately sort of made a distinction between existing social networks. I don't think that
that you'd be able to integrate it.
Correct.
I mean, okay. So then let's talk about why somebody would download the app. What is attractive about it, and how will you expand into the market? Yep.
So the concept of location-based local discovery. What I've thought all along, and I still believe, is we have a huge opportunity to expand sort of city by city, location by location. We don't need to be big all over the world in order to be successful. I mean, of course, we want to grow, and that's a big part of the vision for the future. But we can provide utility right off the bat if we get enough critical mass. Even so, you're in Los Angeles. If we get, and I don't think there's a whole lot going on in Los Angeles. We haven't done any marketing yet, but I don't believe it would take long or take much to get critical mass in one urban area like LA. Bam! All of a sudden, if it's like, hey, I just want to see what's going on, right now in Venice Beach. Open it up, see who's around, see who wants to chat. Right off the bat.
So let's talk about how that campaign would work, and how you're going to approach the market.
Yeah. So a big part of the genesis of kind of doing an STO and looking into crypto and creating our own token is the need to basically engage and pay for influencers. I mean, let's face it. Look, influencers have huge power. They've got massive audiences. They've got the ability to turn on new networks really quick and really powerful in a real powerful way. But it costs money, so it costs a lot of money. We've bootstrapped this thing to date. We're very proud of the product that we built. We're very proud of kind of the core engineering team. But in order to engage the influencers that we want, sorry about that. My screen just went dark. In order to engage the influencers, especially at scale around the world and simultaneously, that's going to cost us a lot of money. I want to be able to pay them.
And is that why the ICO is pretty important, right?
Yeah, the ICO is important. The ICO is definitely important from a marketing standpoint, because I feel as though in order to really make the biggest kind of blast on the scene that we can, we need to spend serious money to do that. And I think if you look at, there's no shortage of apps out there that have spent a ton of money, reached critical mass. The really good ones succeed. And I think that success is predicated on, are you doing something that is needed in the market? Are you meeting an unmet need? Does it work really well? Yes. And I think we're finally like the product itself. I'm pretty happy with. I think we're at a good point.
And you've designed it in a way that it's scalable, right? So what is can you talk about the infrastructure of?
Yeah, I mean, typical stuff like it's a cloud-based system. We've designed this for millions and millions and millions of concurrent users, and it scales quite nicely. And we've been testing it very heavily for a long time.
Well, you're close to MIT. Maybe you can start with getting all the students on board.
We are. We've been doing a lot of testing here, actually.
Oh, really?
Boston's been a great
Can you speak about that a little bit?
I mean, I'm actually in Back Bay, which is a neighborhood right across the river from MIT. My co-founder is from MIT, and we've been fortunate to, have had some really, really smart people here around us, both on the app side and on the crypto side. On the crypto side of the business, all of that development has been based right here from the MIT-based team.
Okay, great. And then let's talk a little bit about those filters you mentioned earlier. And the brand campaigns, how that will work in the future, and influencer progress. So as an influencer, why would I want to join with Selfie Yo?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. I think the reality is, and I've learned this kind of along the way, influencers are not going to be paid just in crypto. They want to be paid cold, hard cash like most people out there. But many of the savvy influencers also recognize that that there's a value they provide in helping getting networks started. And I think one of the things we've all seen over the last year or so is the disenfranchisement of the influencer. YouTube changed their terms of service in a huge way. That created a vacuum in the market where we have seen other apps. To your point earlier, there's other people trying to address that influencer opportunity. So we were like, okay, we need to be able to pay them something, but at the same time, how can we treat some of the best ones like partners? So we allocated 1% of the SGT pool to the influencer community, and that will be available for them to earn. There are very strict kind of requirements in there, but in the long run, the concept of sharing in the upside seems to make sense. I mean, that just seems to be good business.
Yeah,
so.
Partnership seems to be a huge trending word now with blockchain technologies. Everybody's talking about, okay, we're at a stage where we're seeing what has happened in the past, and we're building better systems based on that. And now the only way really to scale up is partnerships. So from the sounds of things, your main partners would be influencers. Initially.
In terms of consumer growth.
Okay.
I mean,
but then you spoke about shopping as well in the long run.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah. So I think that in a past life, I had a lot of experience running mobile shopper marketing campaigns. Big brands, big retailers, big advertising agencies that recognize the power of getting consumers to opt in to campaigns as opposed to passive advertising. So the vision that we have on the monetization side of things down the road is to focus more on how do we get the consumer to participate in shopper marketing programs, retail programs. All of those programs will be paid for with SGT, the currency. So instead of us sending invoices in US dollars, I want to eventually, and it'll take some time to do this, and we have to go in phases and stages here, but the goal is to create a real multifaceted ecosystem around SGT. Reward super users, create shopper marketing campaigns where our brand partners pay in crypto. I think that's something many people in crypto, I'm not the only one thinking, geez, how do we create a world where in the future the currency has multiple use cases?
Yeah.
And that's where we eventually want.
Just one last thing, there are a couple of apps out there that are kind of like social media, born off apps like Instagram, where there are tokens and there is this kind of community. Maybe they aren't locality based, they're not within a certain radius or whatever, like how your app would be. But also there are questions as to, is that real engagement, or are people just doing that to get tokens or to get coins and then to further market themselves?
That's a great question. So you referenced earlier how we're not connected to Instagram or another social network. In order to register an account on Selfie Yo with the app, you have to give us your cell phone number, and then we send you a token back. So, there are many other things happening behind the scenes, but it's not
even just a basic cell phone number. I mean, that is a good verification, because you can't create a million cell phone accounts.
You probably have multiple phones. You're in the business. I have several phones. I'm in the business. I could make other accounts if I wanted to, but it's not easy to create fake accounts on here. And there's really no benefit to, I don't know. You don't build an audience. This is something else that this may not be. I think this is a concept that's a little different from what people are used to on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. I love Twitter too. You're not building an audience. So there's no real value in building a 10 million. I don't think this is going to replace Instagram. I don't think it's going to replace Twitter. Yeah. It's really designed for local community, bringing people together on interaction.
And you said it's pretty simple, right? So there's no category. So it's not like, okay, people who like this or people who like that. So it's just you'll log in and all the photos in real time will be posted in your feed.
Yeah, correct. Okay. And there's a natural sort of time limit to it. So nothing like the feed has limitations. Okay. Again, based on time and location. The general concept is, hey, this is different. We're having a video. This will probably live in perpetuity on the internet. I understand that. But if you're just, say, chatting with somebody at a restaurant or at a bar, you don't expect that conversation to be recorded and live. I mean, maybe it is. There's a lot of weird people there nowadays. But the social expectation is that is sort of ephemeral in nature, by nature. Right. We're trying to kind of encapsulate as much of this real world interaction and kind of make it easier. So it's not going to last forever.
And so then you can just message somebody based on a photo that they posted, or do you comment or what?
Yep. Which could be a little weird, but that's real life. Like that's like.
And you could block somebody if you don't want to.
Absolutely. Okay. Super easy to block them. Super easy.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we have to get into a blocking culture because, on Facebook and Instagram already you get unnecessary messages, and so you just we have to. I agree.
And that's very frustrating. That's one of the reasons why, like, I keep my account, all my Instagram, my Instagram and Facebook, I keep very private and locked down because I don't want to be chatting with people I don't know. There's a time and a place for doing these different things. And I don't think that Instagram and Facebook are those places anymore.
So in closing, it sounds like the vibe of this app is more so to post kind of general pictures of where you are and what you're passionate about, not being too personal. I mean, you can if you want, but the idea is to kind of keep it a way for people to meet each other and collaborate. So for example, if there's who knows, a blogger and a photographer, and one posts something that's related to another and they can meet up.
Absolutely.
That's what you want to see happen.
Yeah, definitely. Sort of, make molecules collide on a local basis.
Great.
And I think that could be fun for everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been great to learn more about your Selfie Yo, your app, how the cryptocurrency is developing, the tokens are developing. And I know it's going to be a long process, but it sounds like you guys are on the right way, on the right path. So, yeah, it was an absolute pleasure talking with you, Jamie. And would you like to just mention your social handles or how to download the app?
Sure. So the app is available for iPhone and Android. Just go to selfieyo.com. Selfie, just the way it sounds, yo.com. And you can find the link to the App Store or Google Play. On Twitter, I am Jamie_Thompson, and we're also on Twitter for Selfie Yo, just twitter.com/Selfie Yo.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for meeting with us today. This is an episode of Meet the Makers. My name's Rebecca Hope from Block News. Thank you.